Preview numbers for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom have come in and they are not looking good. They are worse than the Marvels and significantly worse than the first Aquaman film that came out in 2018. Before we get into this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. With that out of the way, let's get into this. This is over at the numbers. They are reporting that Thursday night previews for Aquaman and Lost Kingdom came in at $4.5 million. Absolutely terrible performance there, indicating that this film is going to be a box office bomb, given the fact that it has a $205 million production budget and needs to make upwards of like 520 million in order to break even on the conservative end. If we look at Variety here, they do have some comparisons for us for recent DCEU releases. The Flash did 9.7 million in its Thursday night previews. Black Adam did 7.6 million. Aquaman and Lost Kingdom, as we just said, 4.5 million. Shazam! Fury of the Gods, 3.4 million. And Blue Beetle, 3.3 million. So I guess you can say it's at least doing better than Shazam! Fury of the Gods and Blue Beetle, but doing worse than Black Adam and The Flash already. It's also doing worse than the Marvels. We scroll down here, look at that daily box office performance for that film. It had 6.6 million in its opening Thursday night preview on November 9th earlier this year. If you want to look at the Aquaman numbers here, this is Aquaman. You can see here Aquaman 2018. Let's scroll down to its opening Thursday, 13.7 million on its Thursday night. So huge decline from the original Aquaman film. And then if we kind of want to look at where these films kind of looked at, I plugged in Aquaman, The Flash, Black Adam, and Shazam! Fury of the Gods. You can see that original Aquaman head and shoulders above everyone else, just kind of tearing them apart. Black Adam is in second, and The Flash there in third. So even though The Flash had more on Thursday night previews, it turned out to be did worse than Black Adam. You can see if you do the domestic opening weekend, Black Adam did indeed perform better at 67 million, whereas The Flash only did 55 million. And then you look at the total box office, 168 million for Black Adam, 108 million for The Flash. Obviously, all of that pales in comparison to the original Aquaman, which did 67.8 million in its opening weekend, and then went on and then powered on to 335 million in the entire domestic weekend. Obviously, Shazam! Fury of the Gods, the worst out of all four of those films. And it's looking like Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom might give Shazam! Fury of the Gods a run for its money as the worst performing DCU film out of these five. We'll see which one will perform worse. I think that is kind of what we're looking at now. It is a race to the bottom. Will it perform worse than Blue Beetle? Will it perform worse than Shazam! Fury of the Gods as far as totals? Then obviously we can go back and look at how much it is going to be profitable. I think Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is obviously on the wrong foot, given the fact that it has such a larger budget compared to Shazam! Fury of the Gods and Blue Beetle. I think Shazam! Fury of the Gods had $125 million production budget around there. And I think Blue Beetle, they said anywhere between 105 and 120 million. So a lot less than Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, which is being reported at 205 million. So it has to bring in a lot more in order to break even. So it doesn't look like domestic audiences are tuning in to Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I think there's obviously a plethora of reasons for that. I think probably the biggest reason is that James Gunn killed the DCEU when he made his DCU slate announcement following the release of Black Adam, said they were going to completely reset the universe. And then in January, he made it very clear that The Flash would reset everything, basically killing any hopes of Blue Beetle and Aquaman and Lost Kingdom doing anything at the box office when they were just going to reset it anyways, given the fact that they had been selling a lot of these films, not as individual films, but as stories within this kind of DCEU. And when you're saying you're going to reset it, I think that loses a lot of interest. I would be remiss if I didn't say that I think there are a lot of people boycotting this film as well, given the fact that Amber Heard is indeed in the movie. I think that the trial earlier this year with Johnny Depp soured a lot of people towards her, and rightfully so. and people have indeed boycotted her. I think there is a petition over on change.org that has some millions of people have signed it, basically saying to cancel the film or remove Amber Heard from it, or they would not go and watch it. So I definitely think that is playing into it as well. And I think that I think people saw the first one and it was just average, and they probably weren't interested in seeing a continuation of it. I know personally, I'm probably an outlier on this. I don't like Jason Momoa's Aquaman at all. I'm not interested in the bro Aquaman. That is not who I think should be playing Aquaman. I think even Momoa said in a recent interview that when you think of Aquaman, you think of someone like Patrick Wilson, who they cast as Orm instead, and he's the one who probably should be Aquaman. He has kind of that heavy is the head that wears the crown, and I think that is what I want to see in an Aquaman. That is the Aquaman that I know from the comic books and everything that I read. I don't know this surfer bro Aquaman who literally doesn't want to take responsibility for anything for the most part, and even when he does have the responsibility, he seems to want to get rid of it. That's not really the Aquaman that I know from the comics. But I think I'm probably an outlier on that. But maybe some people are indeed staying away from that as well. But those are the box office results for Thursday previews for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Let me know what you guys make of these results. Why do you think that people are not going to see this film? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, but to always speak the truth.